Twitch partner is literally useless these days, and a terrible goal. Yes it is, commenter, with the major changes that have come to Twitch this year allowing partners to stream on any platform they want, Twitch confirming that nobody will have the 70-30 sub split anymore, and the fact that you get more emote slots barely matters anymore because better Twitch TV will give you hundreds anyway. There is literally no point to being a Twitch partner. It is a terrible, useless little badge that does absolutely nothing except stroke your ego. Well, that's not exactly true, is it? Because it does help you network a little bit. Streamers will always read messages in chat if you have a partner badge next to your name. But to be fair, if a streamer is only willing to talk to you because you have a badge, you probably don't want to work with that person anyway. My name's LJ and welcome to the Streamer Hot Takes 2022 edition, where I ask you for all of your biggest streaming hot takes and myths of this year. We're going to be getting a little spicy with it because you guys went hard from saying things like streaming as a job is easy, small streamers are lazy, streamers manipulate their audience to grow more, and probably the biggest hot take, how external platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter do nothing to help you grow. This is going to be an amazing year for hot takes. But first, let's say thank you to our sponsor, Own.tv. Today, we're talking about something amazing, Owned Pro. Owned Pro is a fairly new service and plugin for OBS that has over 600 plus overlays and alerts fully built into it. They can all be installed into OBS with just a few clicks as well. They have built-in stream labels, event lists, widgets, a built-in chatbot, and they've partnered with Epidemic Sound, so anyone with an Owned Pro subscription gets access to all of the premium music for streaming. You can use the link in the description right now to try Owned Pro entirely for free, and you'll get access to a wild amount of their tools and features. And then if you like it, you can upgrade at any time. Why not go click that link in the description to support me and check out what they've got for absolutely zero cost. Massive thank you to Own for always supporting the channel. Let's get into our second hot take. Streaming is easy, says Dark Lord. Before going on to say you need to be charismatic, entertaining, learn how to write good advertising, understand audience demographics, where those audience demographics are, and know how to talk non-stop. This is kind of like those job postings you see where it's entry level, but they want 3 years of experience working professionally. Honestly, this is my favorite part of streamer education because he isn't actually wrong. Streaming is fairly easy. Anyone can click go live. And if you do those things, you'll probably do pretty damn well as a streamer. But it's also a bit of survivor bias and ignoring that a lot of people who want to be streamers don't naturally have those skills or haven't had the opportunities to learn those skills that he talks about. We forget some people grow up and experience life very differently from how we did. I had opportunities where I was thrown into situations that let me learn how to be a great public speaker, but others have had crippling fears of public speaking or incredibly bad experiences with public speaking. So when someone says, just be better at talking, forehead, that makes sense in their head, but is entirely meaningless for others who need practice and steps. But what do you guys think? Streaming is easy, yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Let's move on to our next hot take. Streaming is easier than a 9 to 5. I love this one because I think the biggest motivation, or at least the most common motivation that I see from new streamers, is starting streaming so they can make money and quit their job. I think everyone is different. Some streamers I see absolutely have it easier than a 9 to 5 job. They've built a community where they can go live, do basic gameplay or easy chatting segments while making a pretty decent amount of money from subs and bits from that community they've built. But for the vast majority, it isn't easier. For example, when I started out, for the first 6 months, I was working 3 jobs and streaming 4 to 5 hours 5 times a week. It was absolutely immense, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. And then after those first 6 months, I actually took it to a new level and I started making videos here weekly. If you actually want to see what a sleep-deprived zombie looks like in real life, go watch some of the early videos on this channel. It's horrifying. I project the videos onto my house at Halloween to scare kids away. I don't work my 3 jobs anymore, and I haven't in a while, but I didn't leave those jobs until I was earning 3 times monthly from content creation than I did on my day jobs. Because I had this fear that if I quit too early and it all dried up or it all went wrong, I'd be completely screwed. But in my head, if I had 3 times more than what my day jobs were paying me, and I could do that for at least 3 or 4 months consistently, well, if it all went wrong, surely I wouldn't be able to drop to below my old income. To this day though, I do still work 7 days a week. I don't really have days off, and even on my downtime, like going to the movies or playing games with friends, I'm usually always switched on thinking about content. The reason for that, I think, is because I'm fully responsible at all times for how much income I make and how much work gets done. Think about it, if I get lazy and don't hold myself accountable, then I don't grow or get views. I don't get paid. It isn't like a 9 to 5 where at 5 p.m. I switch off and go home. And that is where my personal hot take of the year comes in. I honestly believe that streaming as a job ruins the enjoyment of streaming, for me at least. My motivation for streaming was always to make people laugh and make content other people could enjoy. So when I started needing to ask for subs and bits, it quickly became a massive chore and ruined my love of streaming. I wasn't even asking for them because I needed the money. I was doing it because I felt like having a low sub count made me a worse streamer. How idiotic is that? And it's why I swapped so heavily to YouTube, because it lets the streams be just for fun and interaction again. I never want to go back to being a streamer who needs sub goals just to make sure that they're earning enough income or feel good about themselves. Okay, so those hot takes have been a little bit hot, but no one is going to get into an argument over them. This one though, oh boy, self-pity is something that plagues small streamers. Yes, 100% it is undeniable. The small streamer space is full of self-pity, excuses, and blame games. Don't get me wrong, it isn't everyone, but the vast majority, or maybe at least the vocal groups, are constantly looking for and finding any reason to point out that their lack of growth isn't their fault. One of the most difficult parts of this channel for me is that I really like interacting with you guys, replying to comments, reviewing your streams, and giving help to talented people who just need some guidance when they start out. But that also means it's almost impossible for me to avoid the comments from people who lack self-awareness. They look at their stream and honestly can't see any of the issues. They believe it is the same quality as giant creators. But when you actually go and check their stream, they just sat there in the dark, not talking, playing an oversaturated game with overlays, sub goals, or follower goals covering half the gameplay, with a title that says getting dubs only or chill vibes only, and a schedule that is completely incoherent to having any kind of pattern. And when you see all of this, you're able to go back to them and kindly point out all of the things they can improve. But when you do that, they'll always reply with reasons or really excuses as to why they can't do any of those things. It honestly breaks my heart to see it. And sadly, at the end of the day, Swerdum's hot take really hits the nail on the head. There is no excuse for anything. Like I said earlier, I am entirely responsible for my own growth and success. And really, there is no such thing as an underrated creator. You will be the size that matches the work you put in and you do. But what do you think? This whole video is meant to spark constructive conversation, so let me know in the comments, which will be fun. I'm sure those will be nice. Next up, your community should be like a family and not just a dollar sign. I mean, yes, your community shouldn't just be a dollar sign, but also they should not at all be treated like a family. Well, unless your entire interaction with your family is standing up in front of them doing 4 hours of stand-up every night and having them stuff money in your underwear before you run off to your room to hide in the dark again and never talk to them. But that'd be a pretty weird interaction to have with your family. One of the biggest plagues on Twitch right now is streamers treating their viewers like friends and family. Telling them they love them when they sub or donate, spending time talking in their DMs, helping them with personal problems or giving them mental health advice, and just generally using emotional language and connections to their advantage to grow their stream and increase their revenue. Because, hey, if you're a viewer, you must be my friend. But guys, streamers and content creators are not your friends. They're not a substitute for connecting with other human beings. They're meant to be entertainment. That is all. I have had a rule since day one. I don't DM viewers. We're not friends. I make content. And if you're only here to try have an emotional connection with me or to become my friend, you're probably going to have a tough time. And if you don't like the content I make, I don't want you to stick around because you feel invested in me, because we're buddies. I want you to stick around only if I give you entertainment, if I give you value. That is it. Next hot take. Shoutouts don't do a single thing. Truer words have never been spoken. I personally think there is so much noise out there, so many call to actions, people begging for subs, for likes, please follow the stream, that viewers are kind of tired of it and often just completely ignore it now. I know I ignore almost every shout out that I see, and be honest, you watching this, when was the last time you actually went and watched someone because of a shout out? When you see someone raid the streamer you're watching and the streamer gives them a shout out in return, usually nobody clicks that. And if they do, often the follows that they get from that are completely useless. They aren't actually going to visit you next time you're live. They just did it so they could come back and type in chat, I followed. And then the streamer reads that out and they get a bit of dopamine from hearing their name. Shoutouts only work if you've created a piece of valuable content for the person shouting you out's community. For example, I did a collab with Iona, and when the video went out, Iona shouted it out in her Discord. And I got a few hundred views because they wanted to see Iona in the video. They didn't want to see me, They might come back because they saw something in my personality, but the original click was for Iona, not for me. Speaking of shoutouts and videos, our next hot take is from Oburst, who says, promoting to other platforms doesn't do a damn thing for you, which is a hot take I see all of the time. And often the creators who say this, well, the promoting they're doing just kind of sucks. Not saying that about you, Oburst. I tried to check for your socials and I can't find them anywhere, so you might be doing an absolutely amazing job. But the majority of people, it's usually just go lives, asking for follows, pushing YouTube videos, or hyping up some event or something. Essentially, they're just asking for people to give them things, and the reason it doesn't work is because they're not actually giving anything in return. If you want an external platform to work for you, you have to respect that platform and give people consistent quality content on that platform, and you have to do that for a while before you start asking for things in return. For example, on Twitter, it could be funny, relatable tweets or threads about how to learn new skills. If you're on YouTube, it's about making quality videos or shorts that engage your audience. Or for TikTok, you need to do a funny little dance while you promote the newest lead-based gaming energy drink named after a sound you'd read in a comic book. Bang, pow, wham, you've got lead poisoning. You get the idea. For promotion to work, you have to give real value first, so that when you ask for something, people think, hey, this person's always doing their best to give me quality content. Sure, I'll subscribe to you, Stream Scheme. I mean, to this person's YouTube. This leads perfectly into the next hot take. Don't expect to grow on a platform you never watch. You're probably not sure how this is a hot take, but you're gonna lose it when I tell you, most of the people who want to be streamers don't watch streams. Every time I do a video where I say, name your favorite streamers, or spend time researching and taking notes on your favorite streamers, I get comments telling me that they don't watch streamers, so they can't take that advice, and that they just don't enjoy watching streamers. But for some reason, they want to be big streamers. If you guys have any theories as to why this might be, please comment them down below. I am honestly so lost when people say this. It's the exact same thing with YouTube Shorts these days. The more I talk about them, the more I see people making YouTube Shorts thinking they'll get quick growth, but then they say things like, I don't watch shorts, they are garbage, useless, and trash content. But the problem with that is, if you don't watch them, then you'll have no idea what works. And if you don't respect the content, you're not gonna see any real success from it. Partly because you'll probably make stuff that just doesn't fit the platform and doesn't make sense for the people who enjoy watching it, but also because you're saying you do not respect the viewers using that platform or format. They like that type of content. When you say it's trash or garbage, or you think shorts are useless or terrible pieces that you would never watch, you're saying that all of the people who enjoy watching them, the audience you're trying to appeal to, is trash and useless and idiotic for enjoying them. Why would you try to build your following with an audience you don't respect? And now for my personal favorite hot take. In 2023, you need to stop streaming if you want to grow your stream. What do I mean? Click this video here to understand how much this industry has changed in the past year and how it's going to affect every single streamer. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully with less hot takes.